Electric Cafe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. In this video I'll be reviewing Light Asylum's self-titled debut album from 2012. If you guys have never heard Light Asylum, I'm really excited to help share this record on my channel. And there's been so many people that I've turned this record on to, and every person that I've played it for over the years has just like loved it. So I've been wanting to play this on this channel, and and I just thought of it tonight, and I had the time, and so I definitely wanted to present it to you. But yeah, everybody who I play this record to just falls in love with it. Light Asylum is a Darkwave and EBM artist. Lead singer name is Shannon Funches, I believe. And at the time, now she's just solo, so she still does some dates, some live dates and performs. But back when this album was done, they were a duo. It was a gentleman by the name of Raphael Rodna, I believe, and he did most of the music for it, from what I understand. And then he left shortly after, and then she's still been kind of carrying on the name and doing some dates here and there. And it's strange that somebody is so vibrant in the scene and so excited as people find them. There's still a buzz about Light Asylum, and it's still, when somebody sees her name or the band's name, Light Asylum, on a marquee or on an industrial event or EBM festival or something, I'm sure everybody gets really excited, because I get really excited, and I've known them since they came out in 2012. At the time I was playing Pandora a lot on my phone, and one of their songs came up, and I was just blown away. I immediately went out and ordered the CD. Shortly after I bought a vinyl copy. And it's just been one of my favorite EBM albums of the last 15, maybe even 20 years. And so I'm really interested to actually review it and give you my thoughts on it. Of course, we'll play the music first, but it's gonna be really interesting, really score. I'm expecting a high score, but you never know when you actually sit down and break down a track and compare it and actually put a score to it, because I take my reviews very seriously. And I try not to get wrapped up in the, stuff that I've played, right away, or if I play it last week, and then do a review on it, I try to put it in perspective and try to let it sit. So, that's why a lot of times I do reviews that are older albums, because they're a little bit easier to do. But, that's going to change. But I really wanted to get better at doing reviews on older stuff, and then sort of, carry on to new stuff. So here's a copy of the original record. I got a copy back before it was reissued, and it gave full, really cool design. It also has a poster on it, which I'm such a big Light Asylum fan. I put it up. It's in my room here. Can't really see it because of the camera, but it's a really cool poster. Here's the insert. It also has the track listing on the background. This is Shannon, the lead singer here, and the backing. And the first editions of the record, from what I understand, is this kind of like a orangish kind of brownish color. Really cool. And I think it got repressed around 2019 because of the demand. And then right around 2012, funny enough, I was in a used record bin, and I found a copy of the single, A Certain Person. As you can see here, I got it, hard to see, but I got it for $3. $3 I got the single, and at the time it was brand new. There's only 300 copies of it, which isn't super rare, but of a band like this and the growing cult status that they've had, 300 copies is not a lot, and this one was on a really nice clear record as well. So really excited to share this album with you. If you haven't heard, if you like Darkwave and EBM, you're gonna I think you'll really like this. So there's 10 tracks on here. I'll play it, and then you'll see my score on each track. I think I'll put my score on each track, so you'll probably get an idea as you're listening to this, if you haven't heard this, and see my score. But I'll be back at the end and give you my overall thoughts on the album. But here we go with Light Asylum's self-titled album from 2012.
flavor of freedom. not tokens. These words are sincere. It's always nice to see you around, and it's always nice to see you around. If I gave you the key to my heart, would you take it, would you come and leave me with a rusting mark that could not be undone? If I woke in the middle of the night, would you caress my face and tell me everything's alright? No one could take my place. These are the words I need to hear. These words never spoken. These words are not tokens. These words are sincere. It's always nice to see you around, and it's always nice to see you around, and it's always nice to have you around, and it's always nice to see you When will you come? When will you come? When will you come? And I'm staring at the sky, and you're missing in my life. When will you come? When will you come? When will you come? Will I ever see the sun? Will I ever see the sun? Will I ever see the sun? When will you come? Will I see the sun? Like a storm, lightning struck in black and white. You were born out of this dark and rise to this world with a thorn stuck in your side. I'm a girl, you're a boy, we're left outside. And then, will you meet me by the river's edge? something. You're trying to tell me something.
You're trying to tell me something.
I will kill. I will go.
All right, so there we got a chance to check out all 10 tracks on Light Asylum's debut album from 2012. I have a lot to say on this album. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short, keep it under 10 minutes. Hopefully I can do that on this review. I got a lot to say about it, but first off, I wanted to correct a mistake I made. It was Bruno Cavillo Jr., not the other gentleman I spoke about earlier, who was the other member of Light Asylum for a short period, but before this album, I thought he was with the album through the production of this album, but it was actually Bruno Cavallo Jr., and then he shortly left after, and Shannon's been running Light Asylum since shortly after the album was made, maybe 2014. I'm not sure how long he was with. I've seen some performances even back in the day, like on YouTube. You can look up videos, and you'll see him in the background, but I think he left somewhere around 2014, 2015, not too long after the album was made. But my first impressions my first impressions to you here in the video, although I've heard this album hundreds of times, is just every time I get blown away by Shannon's performance. Like, her voice is so powerful and raw. She has so much charisma, and she's like really invested and really tied to the music. Like, you can really feel like she's like one with the music. Like, she's so powerful, and you know, even though her voice doesn't exactly fit with maybe the pitch and some things, nobody cares. Like, you might think about it like that. Like, I know I think about, like, oh, you know, does her voice quite work with that? You know, and you don't really care about that. It's her. You can feel like her, and that's what's so important about charisma when you're singing, and also probably confidence as well. But she just overcomes quick, and you don't even really think about it. Like, it's, you know, and it's EBM and Darkwave. Her voice not supposed to be perfect anyways, but you can see in the different songs, like sometimes she sings softly, and sometimes she sings strong. Sometimes she almost verges on yelling, and sometimes she, you know what I mean. She's doing almost every song has a different sort of side to her voice, and everyone really works well with the music. It's almost hard to really, even though she's like the star performer, like when you really, like, the music is so clever and so catchy. It's so raw in its own ways too. And so the balance of those, I don't necessarily know which one to favor more, but certainly I will always want to lean on Shannon because even more so her voice is very unique. When I think, there's two people I think of when I hear Light Asylum's voice. I think of her commanding voice. Like, she's very commanding for a EBM, almost Darkwave singer, almost like a Douglas McCarthy from Nights of Reb. Like, he kind of had that power, and she kind of has that power as well. The other name I think of is Grace Jones, and that's not just because she's African American or you know, what have you. It's just, I mean, she's just no apologies. Like, and her voice has that kind of aggressiveness and tone in her voice. As soon as the first time I ever heard of her, I was like, man, she sounds like Grace Jones. I was like, this is crazy. Grace Jones on like an EBM Darkwave band. Like, that's fantastic. Like, I was blown away, and then I heard the album, and even I was blown away even more. I'm looking at my notes here, so bear with me, but sometimes her voice is in the distance. Sometimes it's like it is on the first track, like Our Fortress. And there's sometimes where she has like a attitude and she's kind of sassy, but you can tell when she's in the zone and she just sings. She really feels it. Like she is invested in it and she loves it, and it's amazing. Like, she almost takes like a live performance onto an album, and that's super rare to get that kind of energy. It almost feels like a live album. She does such a great job on there, and she has something to say too. It's, you know, there's a lot of great songs in here, with a lot of memorable moments that she talks about. Like in track number 2 with Pope Will Roll, she talks about, she just comes out with fire in that album. I mean, on that track, and she talks about like charge me like a credit card, honey. You know what I mean? You know. Man, she just goes off on that. On IPC, you know, which is one of the most amazing performances on here. You know, we're here to demonstrate, she says, how to burn it to the ground. Are you with me? Like, and then she's, you know, talking about living in a shitty world, and she says talking about people getting 25 to life for selling marijuana. And it's just, nobody's innocent, she says. Nobody's innocent no more. You're just like, wow, like she's really out there, like killing it. Like it's awesome. It's so fantastic. It's almost like, and that's why I say, like, everybody I play this album for over the years, I can't count on two hands how many people I've played Light Asylum for, and they're just like, wow, they're awesome. And every time I play them too, I just wish there was more of their music. Unfortunately, this debut album is unfortunately, and then one other single, the Dark Alleys single, the single before, are really the only albums, the only recorded material of theirs from this time. And then I got to talk about Bruno Cavillo's Jr.'s his performance. He really takes the songs to the edge. Like his this. I don't know about you, but I get a little bit of a freestyle music, and I'm not sure if that comes from New York. It's kind of an '80s kind of dance music in there for sure, but I feel like there's almost like a freestyle element in some of the tracks and how simple they are, and some of the chorus and the bridges and some of the obvious melodies. It's an EBM and Darkwave album that's trying not to be too new, and I think that's so clever because her voice is unique as unique could be, and then you have like a vintage kind of freestyle music, but then it has a little bit of edge to it, but then it's very raw and very 80s sounding. So you're just like, is this synth pop? Is this electro? Is this EBM? Is this is this Darkwave? Like it's just this amazing blend by only two people like doing this. It's just fantastic. It's just the sounds that he put in. Almost every song has like a unique sound in it. Like there's like track number 10. It has like a certain person has like a sound of like a horse like neighing, like and like it's almost like every song has like some kind of strange sound where you're like, oh, that's pretty different, and then it's catchy and it works so well, and he runs with it. It's not like he's not shy of, and I think that's kind of a cool kind of creative thing to do, is not try to make sounds unique and different, or not unique and different, but like new and perfectly done, and like it's just very raw sounds thrown in there, and it just really works with her voice and the songs. Just amazing. I'm sure you saw my scores on each song. Just some fantastic ratings that I gave the album. 2 10s and 2 9s. Just unheard of for. I don't think I've ever given an EBM Darkwave album 4 out of 10 tracks over a 9. 6, 7 of the 10 are over an 8. Just a super strong album. Every song is a heavy hitter. The only weak point might be Sins of Flesh, track number 5, which I gave a 7. But in a way, it kind of gives you a break to kind of like catch your breath. Like for me, anyways. Like after the first 4 songs, just kind of bam, 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 bam. Like you hear Sins of the Flesh, and like, okay, a moment to rest. But then it's such a perfect sort of intro track going into one of the best tracks on the album, which is sort of the ballad, the track called Angel Tongue, and the way she sings it, and it's just so perfect. It gives me goosebumps every time. Like this song gives me goosebumps the last minute. Her voice just, it just sounds like, it's like out of this world. It sounds like nothing I've ever heard before. She just brings down the house with that performance. She just kills it. That last minute is just amazing, and the way the melody flows, and just kind of like this sonnet, like kind of elegant sequencing, just very simple, but do 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 do, just kind of so simple. But then it just and then the strings come, and just an amazing song. Just, I could talk so much about every song on here. IPC track number 3, great song to slam dance to. The whip sounds too, and then her voice is just like so like demonstrative and and talking about. I mean, she's got something to say. The music's great. Like you can see the smile on my face that this album brings every time. But every track has a hitter, and every track has like a really catchy hook in it, or a clever sound, and on top of that, a clever sound or two as well to kind of balance the hook and make it unique as well. Just it's awesome. And again, I wrote here, in some ways, they're almost primitive freestyle sound, and then a darker synth pop edge that goes with the power of Shannon's voice. And it's in many respects, it's a great balance of the two, and it just leads for an amazing album. Like, wow. Track number 10, End of Days. It's just pure magic. What a melody. And there's like two killer melody patterns in there. Love the drum sounds in there. The 808 bells. Shannon's singing in there too. After that big ballad song and the build-up, and then it's kind of slowly getting back into the flow of the album, right? Swallow Tears comes in, track number 7. The melody just brings you back in and hooks you back into ramping up to the last 3 tracks. Shannon's voice in Shallow Tears, dramatic, deep baritone. Wow. The way she sings it, I mean, there's a couple tracks on here that just give me goosebumps. It's just an amazing album. It's awesome. I give it an 80. I mean, the song, it's strange because it's still an album that every time I hear it and every time I think about it and every time I think of an album in the last 15 years that's moved me like this one has, there's not too many that come close to this, let alone exceed it, in my opinion, especially for a debut album. So this album is awesome. I give it an 86 out of 100. It's an instant classic. Probably the first time I heard it, and I think the key thing about being an 86 out of 100, it's not on the low side of an 80 being classic. It's verging on going into the 90s. Like this is, if the reason why I don't give it in the 90s per se is, I mean, the tracks don't necessarily add up to a 90, so that's one thing. But also giving it extra points to push it into a 90, which I certainly could. That's still, I think that still takes about another 5 to 10 years to really kind of gauge that and see if it's an all-time classic. Is this an album that I would show somebody else that had no idea about Darkwave and EBM or industrial, nothing about like darker music? Would I give this to like a 60-year-old person that has no idea about darker electronic music? Maybe to shock them in a good way, maybe and not really shock them like some kind of like shock rock or horror or something like that, but just like, check this out, this is kick-ass. And then be like, wow, and see if they kind of understand it, right? I don't know if I would do that to like a 60-year-old or something, like the way I would with like Violator, Depeche Mode. I'd be like, oh, here's an album that I think will you would appreciate. I don't know if somebody would. So can I put it in the 90s? I think it still takes a couple, maybe another decade or so to kind of resonate with me and kind of I guess still kind of sink in a little bit. It's a powerful album, and it's hard for me to really rate these tracks. Like I had to kind of compare a few of them to see like, oh, okay, I rated this one an 8.25. Okay, this one's not as good as that, because I was like, oh, okay, 8.5. But I was like, no, I don't like it as bad as that. Let me give it an 8, and that one an 8.25, and oh, this one's for sure 9.5, and then I dropped End of Days, track number 9 to 9, because I like a certain person better, and gave that one a 9.5, but I didn't quite give it a 10 because it's not as good as Angel Tongue. So, or IPC. So, I had to. I think that's what you do when you sometimes when you rate songs. It's almost hard to rate them, and they're so good you almost rate them against each other as well. I was like, I can't give that one a 10 because I like that one a little bit more. So you almost start comparing them to themselves because they're that elite, and this album is that. Nothing compares to this album. And it's strange because it's that good, and it kind of is, in some ways, it's a lot of EBM and Darkwave and anything like synth pop and retro sounding new wave and stuff like that is going to be a parody of itself in a way, because it's trying to sound vintage, right? certainly the freestyle in here, it makes me feel like that. So in that way, can I give it a 80 or a 90? You know, I could see that argument or that discussion of, well, it's kind of, you know, some basic freestyle music. You know, it's not necessarily music for every day, every minute of the day. Like, and sometimes when you think about it, how can you give an album an 80 or a 90 and say it's excellent or amazing if you can't necessarily hear it every part of a day? Like, I can listen to it at 11 at night, or kind of listen to it at 3 p.m. I can see that argument being made about an album like this. It's not an album that I would necessarily play at 11 a.m. on a weekday while I'm hanging around the house, right? But in some ways, I save it for the times when I need that punch in the gut and to be blown away by Shannon's amazing voice and this amazing album. So every time, maybe when I think about that, I'm like, oh, well, I kind of agree with that. Maybe I shouldn't give it an 80 or a 90. And then I'm like, oh, but every time I'm blown away by it too, you know, so there's that too. So, you know, I think 86 is a amazing score, and I feel like that's a deserved score as well. So that's my thoughts on Light Asylum's debut album. It's such a strong album. I hope it kind of comes through to you the way it's, you know, even half as much as it impacts me. Like, it's rare to hear a voice this unique, this powerful, and to be paired with music so catchy. Like, it's an amazing balance, amazing stuff. I still wish they were together. I wish they would have done another album. I mean, you know, so it almost crystallizes this album as a perfect snapshot in time. You know, it's always hard for a sophomore or a sophomore album to compete with when this debut album is this strong, and maybe that's a good thing that they didn't even get a chance to try. We'll never know. But curious to know your thoughts on the debut album. What are your scores for each song and your score overall for the album? Please put it down below in the notes if you'd like to do that. We'd love to know your thoughts as well. All right, well, thanks for the time, and we'll see you on the next video.